You are listening to 40 Weeks with Vanessa Merton, host of the Pregnancy Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the 40 Weeks podcast. Welcome to week 26. Your little baby is growing from the size of an acorn squash last week to the size of a zucchini this week. That little one keeps getting taller, and they measure 13.6 inches or 34.5 centimeters, and they weigh about 1.5 pounds or 660 grams. Your baby's eyes have been shut, but now they're almost fully developed and will soon be ready to open. Their eyes are now blue, but they're not going to display their final color until a few months after birth. Your little one's brain is maturing rapidly and growing very quickly. Although they are pretty lean right now, they are also packing on the pounds and will be cute and chubby by the time you meet them. Another fun development is that your baby's brainwave activity is kicking in at this stage in their fetal development. This is exciting because not only can they hear noises, but now they can also respond to them with an increase in pulse rate or activity. You are about 2/3 of the way through your pregnancy, and now your uterus is about 2.5 inches above your belly button. You might be having some issues with sleeping, and unfortunately, insomnia during pregnancy can happen. Fortunately, there are some things you can do to try and have a good night's rest. Some tips include exercising. Even a walk has great benefits, getting fresh air during the day, and try limiting fluids before you go to bed. If you do limit fluids before bed, though, make sure that you're staying hydrated throughout the day. If you are having a tough time finding a comfortable position, try some pillows. There are some made specifically for pregnancy, or just move around with the pillows you have and see if you can find a cozy position to sleep in. A test that has become pretty standard is the Glucose Challenge Screening, which is a preliminary screening test performed between 26 to 28 weeks to test for gestational diabetes. During the test, mom is asked to drink a sweet liquid of glucose or sugar, and then they're going to have their blood drawn 1 hour from having the drink, as blood glucose levels normally peak within an hour. You don't need to fast or anything to prepare for this test, although I don't recommend drinking a huge sugary soda or eating donuts before taking it. This test evaluates how your body processes sugar. A high level in your blood can indicate that your body is not processing sugar effectively, which would be a positive test. If the results of this screen are positive, you might have the glucose tolerance test performed. It is important to note that not all women who test positive on the challenge screening test are found to have gestational diabetes upon further diagnosis. For more info on this and all other non-invasive prenatal testing, check out episode 15 of the Pregnancy Podcast at pregnancypodcast.com/episode 15. Tip for dad: if your partner's tossing and turning is keeping you up at night, you can try using some earplugs to block out any extra noise, or even use a sleep mask which blocks out any light and keeps it nice and dark for sleeping. Hang in there, Dad. Perhaps this is just the baby preparing the two of you for some sleepless nights ahead. Thank you for tuning in. Show notes for this episode can be found at pregnancypodcast.com/week 26. Next week, your baby is probably sucking their thumb. And until then, I wish you the very best on your pregnancy journey. There are so many awesome resources available to you at pregnancypodcast.com, and you can sign up with your email address and your due date to get a weekly email with a link to the episode for your specific week every week in your inbox. I look forward to seeing you in the Pregnancy Podcast Facebook group, which is a great place not only to connect with some other parents-to-be, but also to be able to ask questions and get answers specific to things that you are dealing with and planning for your pregnancy and birth.